Welcome back to JRG Guitars, and it's time for another episode in our hollow body build. Here it is, all completed. Today is the day where it all comes together and we complete this guitar and get some tone samples and get to see how it works and get to see how well it turned out. Here it comes on JRG Guitars. That's right, thank you for tuning in. So the guitar is built, the finish was done, we polished it up in the last episode, and in this episode we put all of the electronics together, mount all the hardware, string it up. We're going to get some tone samples, we're going to see how it worked out. So thank you very much for tuning in. I'm going to run through real quick here at the beginning of the episode with all the assembly, and then we'll get some of those tone samples. Really happy with the finished product. I think the finish just turned out great. And I believe the guitar does sound good as well. I'm not in a super rush to put new pickups in here. I'm just going to feel it out for a little bit, see if at some point that'll be an upgrade. But definitely a fun one for sure. So thank you for tuning in again. Please enjoy the episode. So I did do a little upgrade. I got some locking tuners. The other tuners were really cheap. And my other guitars that I got from the Fretwire and even from Solo Music Gear, those tuners are really poor. And these were not too expensive, just over 30 bucks on Amazon, and the only difference is I do need to drill out the hole because this is a 3/8 shaft, so I'm just going to drill it out a bit and see if this will work. So what I've really, since everything is finished already, I just got the tuners. Had I got the tuning machines prior to doing all my finish work, I would have drilled the hole and I wouldn't worry about anything. But now obviously I have to drill in the guitar with the finish. So what I will do is I will go with the drill bit in reverse first, just to sort of hog away and then actually drill through. We'll start here on this one. So now that they're drilled out, sort of hogged so that they'll fit in there nice and snug, I went through and did all 6 tuning keys, making sure that I went in reverse first, so that I didn't sort of chip out any of that finish. Put them all in there and tightened them down just a little bit so I could still move it. Coming in here with my straight edge, just a speed square, but a straight edge to make sure that they're nice and flat. Turns out all the pre-drilled holes were lined up well, so I just sunk them in with the pre-drilled holes and looked nice. Now I'm going to push in my lugs for my bridge. Going at first with my countersink tool, I sort of just cleaned up the edge. Then with my rat tail file, little X-Acto knife, got it cleaned up, and I again had to hog out some finish and some grain filler and some other stuff that got in there, and then drill motor in reverse, drilled through both times. And what I wanted to get was down to wood and have no finish that had got in there, so that it could expand as I pounded the post bushing in there. So I put on my fretboard cleaning solution. This is just a hydrating solution, but using it as a cleaner and hydrator, this fretboard had dried out tremendously. I went in and sort of toothbrushed it and got it to a point where it cleaned up all that gunk that was left over from the residue from the tape. Then coming through just with this little needle file tool here and poking through the finish, and then just with my countersink bit, again, just cleaning up the edge so that no finish will chip out. Tremolo installation time. I've put some little felt pads on the back. These are just on the areas that come in contact with the body, and I had read some stuff online there that is supposed to have a little something there so it's not just metal on wood. So I've done that. Don't know if it's too much or too little. We're going to put it on and just see how it works. They're just little dots that you might put on the corner of cabinets to keep a door from slamming or something like that. So I've got those ready, and we're going to install this. So on the back of the guitar here, there is a wood block on the inside of the body. So as you screw into here, you do have more meat that you're screwing into. The top 2 screws here will just be holding this in place. The bottom screw here actually is where you attach the strap button as well. So that bridge all laid out, we're going to go ahead and just
sink these screws in here and hold it into place. The little felt pads keeping that finish from getting scratched up. And again, just over there, we'll put our strap button on there and our other two that will hold it in place and hopefully be in good shape.
So in there nicely, up against it, sucked down. You can see everything. Looking good. Getting closer and closer.
So now I come up here for my nut installation, cleaning out just some leftover glue residue from when I popped that off, just so it'll be a nice clean fit. Sandpaper, X-Acto knife, just trying to get it as clean as I can so that nut will sit in there nice.
Then I have the nut that came off. It is a cheap plastic nut. A nut upgrade will probably be in the near future on this one.
Just coming through to set it, get it nice and flat, final measurements and final adjustments made once we have the strings on.
So I have my pre-wired setup here, ready to go. The far reaches, I've got them zip tied together, so everything will be snaked around the base of the guitar, and then it won't be visible, hopefully won't be visible through my F-holes. And we'll just have to see how that works. This is non-shielded cable. Thing's going to be super noisy when I get going, but I just want to make sure I can get in here, see the electronics work, see if the pickups are decent. If I need to do some upgrades, I'd probably upgrade the entire wiring system anyway. So now comes the part of just snaking everything and getting it all in there. Should be interesting, and we'll see how it turns out. So I have a bunch of pull strings situated here, and I have my wiring laid out. I'm now going to attempt to get this thing through in one piece, and God knows what'll happen. Worst that happens is you just have to keep trying and trying again.
So this was an involved process here. All these pull strings, getting everything in. It went pretty well. Some of the harder parts were just fishing those actual potentiometers up through. That one there going really easily. Some of them not easy at all. But in the end, kept the finish from getting marred and got everything in there as it's supposed to be.
So everything pulled through, and now the final piece is to bring this bridge pickup it and set it down here.
So I have the ground wire there, which will ground all the electronics to the bridge. I had already hit that post in there and locked it in and realized I didn't have the ground wire in there, so I had to pull it out, fish a wire through, and then pop it back in. It went through with no problems, so we're good to go.
So here's the guitar in the initial stages. I've got 6 strings on it. As I was stringing it up, I hit an interesting point where I did not know how to route the strings. So you can see my low E and A string I just have coming off of this straight into here, and it really creates not a very good break angle here. It's almost a straight line, and even in just the initial string up, when I would strike this string, I would get a resonance back here, and I just felt I'm gonna come off of my actual bridge saddle here, and that's when I thought maybe this is supposed to go underneath here. Having never used a bridge like this, I just don't know, but I think it's better going underneath. I still get the deflection of pitch. I mean, everything would work the same. I think it would just route it more properly. So I've got my low E, my low A, and my high E that are still routed above this bar here. So I'm going to restring those there, and then I think I'll be in a good spot. Well, this was definitely a fun build for sure. One that I never thought I would want to build, but really kind of spoke to me. I saw it. I thought, this is one I want to tackle. I wanted the finish to have this type of look to it. And boy, it really turned out. I think the guitar turned out excellent. Very happy with it. It was a lot of work. Took a lot of time. But definitely worth it in the end. Just a nice addition to the collection. So thank you very much for tuning in to this video and any of the other videos in this build series. We do appreciate you watching the videos. I certainly appreciate you staying tuned here to the end of the video. If you like this type of content, if you enjoyed this video and like to see more like it, please consider hitting that like button, hitting the subscribe button, and pressing that bell icon for notifications, and you'll be notified when the next video comes out for you. So thank you again from JRG Guitars. We'll see you on the next one.
JRG Guitars.